Welcome to the short film that tells you what happened during the Federation of Scottish Theatre FST Access Project. Why did FST start an access project? In 2007, FST were supported by the Scottish Arts Council to take over the coordination of captioned theatre performances in Scotland. Following this, an application was made to the Scottish Arts Council for a wider access project with the aims of working with the theatre and dance sectors to develop inclusive theatre audiences, practices and plans. What was done? To meet the objectives of the project, different strands of activity were devised, and these included Access Scottish Theatre, testing online BSL listing information, developing training programmes, creating online resources for FST members. One of the main barriers that audiences face is access to information. So in April 2009, the project launched Access Scottish Theatre. The Access Scottish Theatre Guide piloted new ways of presenting information for audiences through a centralised source and allowed the project to make best practice suggestions that can be integrated in general marketing material. There were 3 print editions of the Access Scottish Theatre Guide and 11 monthly e-bulletins reaching 620 subscribers by the end of the project. This guide promotes captioned, BSL interpreted and audio described performances, but the guide also provides information about bookings, getting to and using venues. The experience of audience members was central to Access Scottish Theatre, so it was important to provide information on details like who was interpreting, where are good seats for hearing assistance systems, and where to sit to use captioning. In collaboration with the venues in the guide and the National Theatre of Scotland, 17 events and open days were held to find out about real experiences. We also used 24 mystery shopper visits to gather further feedback about experiences. We could now put useful information in the guide. 100% of people we asked during the end of project evaluation said they found it useful to have information from other audience members. Asking about real experiences identifies unknown barriers. Before the launch of the Access Scottish Theatre, we also tested providing information about upcoming BSL performances online and BSL via this YouTube channel. Once the guide was launched, we created an introduction to the guide that was presented by a deaf person with voiceover and captions. During this project, the YouTube channel has had over 1,000 views and the FST nearly 3,000 page views. The FST website held listings of accessible performances and alternate format of Access Scottish Theatre for download. Captioning has seen an increase of 261% from 2007 to 2009. The project has emphasised throughout that captioned performances are of use to a large section of the deaf, deafened and hard of hearing population who are not BSL users, but that BSL interpreted performances should also be made available for deaf audience members. We invested in more captioning units for Scotland in 2009 and are about to launch an online booking and clash diary for venues. Training during the project took two forms: plan ahead and reflections on access. Plan Ahead was a training programme to support organisations funded by the Scottish Arts Council to devise disability equality schemes and action plans, and was delivered across 14 organisations, 7 of which were in venues in the Access Scottish Theatre. Reflections on Access was devised in addition to this to offer disability equality training and action planning to those not taking part in the Plan Ahead. An Access Resource Centre was created on the FST website for members, providing information about the project, best practice guidelines and other useful resources. Quotes and feedback from audience members and venue staff were integral to best practice information written as part of the project. What did we find out? Access Scottish Theatre allowed us to pilot providing information to audiences while also undertaking a review of current activity across the main venues in Scotland. During the project, we found out more about the barriers and challenges facing audiences and organisations. From audiences, we found out that 100% of people we asked would like to see Access Scottish Theatre continue, and that 60% feel it increased their attendance at theatre. It should be made permanent, as it's the only way to build up a real picture of what's going on and influencing good practice. 90% of people feel that the project has had an impact on their experiences at theatre. I know that the theatres are taking accessibility seriously and feel that people are welcomed as a result. The majority felt that pricing was fair but not clear. There was a mixture of suggestions about the fairest pricing structures, but the preferred options were lowest price in the house with the same for a companion, or 2 for 1. It was felt that if a person needs to sit in a specific area of a venue to access a service, their choice is limited and they ought not to be penalised.